Good evening, everyone. Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another important live video update. Can you believe the first half of the first month of the new year has already come and gone? I know that most people are back to work now, or certainly as of tomorrow, and most people are now well and truly back into the swing of things. Now, equally, it seems like the powers that be are also into the swing of pursuing their agendas once again for this year. And of course, the big news of this past week has of course been all of the wonderful media propaganda relating to the latest COVID scare. Now, I've seen at least a dozen different articles mentioning COVID just in the past week alone, and obviously I'm not going to go through them all, but I do want everyone to see for themselves how the media and government spin and twist things just to suit these various agendas. So the first story that I saw was actually about the latest COVID variant wave in Victoria. So that's the article for those of you who want to have a look at that. And it says, Victoria in the midst of double COVID-19 wave amid JN1 variant surge. It all sounds very scary once again. The rapid spread of the JN1 variant has plunged Victoria into a double COVID-19 wave, according to health authorities. I mean, they love to use these big emotive words to get people really living in fear. The new variant, a sublineage of BA2.86, has sparked a second surge of infections and the highest number of hospitalisations with coronavirus in the state within a 6-month period. Oh no. According to the latest COVID-19 surveillance report from Victoria's Department of Health, an average of 377 people were hospitalised with the virus, an increase since the early December peak of 326 cases in hospital. Oh dear. Chief Health Officer Dr. Claire Looker told The Age the state was only beginning to emerge from an earlier COVID-19 wave when JN1 infections spiked. Rather than a lull or return to baseline between waves, we've had a bit of a wave-on-wave pattern, she said. Part of the concern with this new variant has been the speed with which it's taken off. So over a few weeks, we've really seen it very quickly be the dominant variant in the community. All very scary stuff. In its January report, the department noted the rapid growth of JN1 cases over the last month, with the strain now the most prevalent subvariant in Victoria. The latest quantitative wastewater measures indicate high COVID-19 viral loads in Victorian wastewater, the report reads. Despite an increase in COVID-19 hospitalisations, however, deaths in Victoria have declined since the 28 days to December 19 compared to the prior 28-day period. Okay, they've declined. So what are we even doing here? Why are we talking about this? Okay, I mean, if it's causing less deaths than other variants, why is it even in the mainstream media at all? Anyway, it appears as though keeping Victorians living in fear seemingly wasn't enough. So later that day, it was reported that it had spread to New South Wales as well. So here's the article for those in New South Wales, if you want to look it up. Highest levels of COVID-19 in community since last year, New South Wales Health confirms. You know last year was only 2 weeks ago, right? Just saying in case anyone missed it. More than 17% of PCR tests are returning positive results, prompting warnings that the state is seeing the highest level of COVID-19 in the community in a year. Most infections are coming from Omicron-related variants, with the JN1 variant making up 35% of infections, and the EG5 variant causing 40% of infections, according to New South Wales Health. We suspect the wave is from people gathering for Christmas and New Year's, Dr. Jeremy McAnulty from New South Wales Health said. We know it's an unstable virus. It mutates on a regular basis. Those mutations have changes that get around our immune system, which is why we see waves every few months. Is that right? I thought all these jabs were supposed to give people immunity so that these different waves and variants weren't going to harm them. Well, that's what we were told, of course, wasn't it? Despite a spike in cases and emergency room patients, infections are not any more severe than the previous strain, McAnulty said. We don't have any evidence to suggest the new strains aren't more serious, but it does make the virus more infectious, he told the media. So, again, it's more infectious, but it's less serious. So again, why are we even talking about it? What exactly is the issue? Once again, it's to keep people living in fear. So much so, they're even pushing for people to wear these wonderful, pointless paper face nappies again in New South Wales. And there it is, wear a mask, wear a mask. New South Wales Health responds to a rise in cases in light of new subvariant strains. 2 new subvariants of COVID are ripping through multiple states, forcing health officials to call for masks to stem transmission. Because masks worked so well in the past, didn't they? Again, those who want to know the truth about masks, please go to our COVID and vaccinations page and just have a look at some of the reports there. Residents across one state have been urged to wear a mask if they show COVID symptoms as a new wave of infection sweeps parts of the country. New South Wales has recorded its highest level of the virus in a year. Descendants of subvariant Omicron EG5 and JN1 are quickly becoming the most dominant strains of COVID across the state, increasing case numbers. Executive Director of Health Protection, Dr. Jeremy McNulty, here we are again, fronted the media on Tuesday to urge those who are presenting with symptoms to wear face masks if they need to leave isolation. If you need to go out for essential reasons, then wear a mask. Don't go visiting other people, particularly people at high risk, he said. I mean, really, seriously, go and look at the actual studies on these masks and what they can and cannot actually do. And keep that in mind as we get to the next article as well, which once again seems to be completely contradictory of the previous articles. So it turns out that yesterday, because Victoria and New South Wales wasn't bad enough, so yesterday the whole country was apparently in the grips of a massive new COVID wave. Absolutely, there it is, in black and white in the media, so it must be true. Australia in grips of mammoth COVID-19 wave, but experts offer a silver lining. Oh, phew, we can all breathe, a sigh of relief. Australia is unlikely to return to widespread mask mandates, experts say. Maybe those experts should go and read the previous articles because they seem hell-bent on it. Despite the country grappling with a surge of COVID-19 cases. In some states, COVID-19 cases are higher than they were last winter, with 2 highly infectious strains of the virus circulating among the community and hospitalisations increasing. Yet the other article said that they weren't increasing. It was just more infectious, but other than that, no big deal. Here we go. But crucially, the number of intensive care admissions and deaths linked to COVID-19 has not dramatically risen, and epidemiologists say there's not evidence to show new strains are any more deadly than the common flu. No more deadly than the common flu. I wonder where I've heard that before. I'll leave it with you. Around the country, JN1, a strain of Omicron, and the subvariant of BA2.86, which is also still circulating, so watch out, is increasingly becoming the dominant strain of the virus, currently making up almost a third of COVID cases in Australia. New strains are emerging all the time. If the virus doesn't mutate or change, it will die out. Oh no! They're telling you what they're doing here in black and white, and people still don't get it. There's not much chance of that happening. God forbid they couldn't have COVID die out then, because what would happen to all the money from the jabs? This is going to happen for the next 40 years. It's not going to go away. 40 years we're going to be living with COVID, people, and variants and waves and all the rest of the rubbish. Really? Come on. They say that JN1 would only become a worrying problem if it were much more severe and more transmissible. But hang on, the last article said it was more transmissible. That's why everyone had to go and put their face nappies back on. Now they're saying it would be worrying if it was, but it's not worrying because it isn't. Make up your mind, people. Come on. Every wave we have is having less effect, as judged by serious disease compared to the waves before. So what are we even prattling on about it? And that's what you'd expect when you've got a highly immunised population. Well, that's what it is. But if we're already all highly immunised, why does anyone need to keep getting jabs? Either the stuff works and it's immune, or it's not. You can't have partial immunity. It's like partial pregnancy. It's one or the other, people. They say that Australia has a collective high immunity against serious disease, and mandating masks again will do little to stop spread beyond situation with high-risk individuals. Well, again, you might want to go and speak to the people that wrote the last article because, again, it doesn't marry up. Professor Bowie said there was a case for reinstating mask requirements on a limited basis when dealing with highly vulnerable and at-risk people in specific hospital wards and nursing homes, but a wider mandate would do little. Now, I wonder why that is. Why were masks absolutely mandatory and you were, being so selfish and putting yourself and others at risk only a few years ago if you didn't wear one? But now, it's not really going to do very much. Did it really do much before? I don't know. Professor Collignon said as time goes on, the 2 waves a year Australia has been experiencing in the last few years will taper down to just 1 winter wave a year. Hang on a minute, the last article says that we're getting a new wave every few months. Now, unless I've missed something, I think there's 12 months in a year, so every few months means we should be getting 6 waves a year. This guy's saying there's really only 2, and now it's only going to go down to 1. Who do we believe? They tell you to believe the experts, but the experts have differing opinions. In the meantime, COVID is still a problem, but for as long as deaths attributed to the virus remain down, every new strain is less of an issue. Less of an issue. There it is, in black and white. That's what the experts are telling us. So why have I seen, half a dozen articles just in the last 1 week on COVID if it's all less of an issue? Because they want to keep people living in fear, okay? And of course, they want people to keep getting jabbed so they can keep making money. So this is really all that it's about. At the end of the day, okay, there are contradictions everywhere. Oh, it's more infectious. Oh, but it's less deadly. Oh, masks are necessary. Oh, but they're not really going to do much. Oh, it's going to be around for another 40 years, but it's only as bad as the common cold. I mean, please keep all this stuff in mind and keep this stuff in perspective when people start talking about this insanity again over the coming months, as they no doubt will. Now, one state that was not specifically mentioned in those articles was South Australia. Now, they, however, have a different kind of issue to contend with, and that is mobile phone cameras. Now, it seems like these cameras have been so successful at raising an extraordinary amount of money for the New South Wales and Victorian governments that the South Australian government has decided, well, hey, we could do with a little bit more revenue as well, so let's install some of these cameras. So there's the article for anyone in South Australia or anyone who might be travelling to South Australia to read. And it says, South Australia announces mobile phone detection cameras. Motorists in Adelaide are on notice, with 5 new cameras being installed to detect illegal mobile phone usage by drivers. Overhead cameras that can detect when a driver is illegally using a mobile phone will be placed at 5 locations across Adelaide. After a successful trial of the technology in 2023, you know what that means, right? Successful trial. They knew it was going to make them money. The South Australian government has announced it will permanently install 5 mobile phone detection cameras as part of a $15.9 million program. Now, I wonder, is that $15.9 million money they intend to make? Or is that what they're going to spend on the cameras to actually make some more? I'll leave it up to you guys to figure out. The cameras will be located on the Southern Expressway in Darlington, South Road in Torrensville, North-South Motorway in Regency Park, Port Road in Hindmarsh, and Port Wakefield Road in Gepps Cross. Motorists will be granted a 3-month grace period. Oh, how nice. From June to September 2024, in which those caught by the cameras using their mobile phones will only be issued warnings. Well, hang on a minute. if they're going to give them a 3-month grace period and they're only going to issue warnings, then what exactly happened during this successful trial in 2023? Surely that's what should have happened during the trial. Or is it, as I mentioned before, the trial was to see how much money they could make? After 3 months, which the government is calling an education period, drivers caught using their phones will be issued a fine of $540 along with a $99 victims of crime levy. Where's the crime, people? Where is the victim? How can you have a victim of crime levy when there's no victim and no crime? Okay? Unless you're talking on the phone and actually drive into someone or run over someone, there's no victim and no crime. Okay, so people in Adelaide or South Australia in general should most assuredly be challenging these ridiculous fines and levies. The South Australian government claims, okay, even they're telling you it's just a claim, no evidence, mind you, just a claim, that all funds raised from the fines will be collected by the Community Road Safety Fund, which was created to improve road safety through initiatives, road upgrades, education programs, and advertising. Well, I hate to say it, but I was recently in Adelaide only like a month or so ago, and I didn't see any really great road upgrades. There were still potholes everywhere. The conditions of the roads were really not all that good at all. So this appears to be exactly what they say, just a wonderful, frivolous claim with no evidence whatsoever to back it up. But then right at the end of the article, they actually admit this. In September 2023, the Queensland government admitted a software error had falsely issued double demerit points to 1,842 motorists caught by mobile phone and seatbelt detection cameras over a period of 22 months. It took them nearly 2 years to figure out this monumental error that was hitting nearly 2,000 motorists with double demerit points when they weren't supposed to get them, leading to 121 drivers having their licenses incorrectly suspended. Okay? 121 drivers having their licenses incorrectly suspended. Now, I get Muppets and trolls on these videos all the time going, oh, it's all a scam, and Aussie speeding fines this, and know your rights that, and all the rest of it. Well, there's yet another admission of 121 people that had their licenses incorrectly suspended, okay, and 1,842 people who were incorrectly issued with double demerit points. These kinds of mistakes happen all the time, okay? It's not a one-off or two-off. It happens all the time. There are very, very clearly issues with all of these cameras. Speed cameras, mobile phone cameras, seatbelt cameras, all the rest. I mentioned just on a recent video update about the grandmother, I think it was, that was going through the potential legal challenge in Queensland against the AI cameras there. So again, people should most assuredly challenge any unjust and unlawful fines that are issued by those cameras, and indeed challenge all unjust and unlawful fines anyway. Again, it's very, very simple to do. All you need to do is follow that tried, tested and proven 3-step process in Chapter 3 of that Aussie Speeding Fines book. Again, these guys have been around. It's now into their 17th year. 17th year of helping people beat these unjust and unlawful and incorrectly issued fines. So please, if you don't yet have that, there should be a link in the description on this video. There should also be a link in the comment section as well. All right, now the final topic that I want to discuss tonight is the ongoing push towards this cashless society. Now, thankfully, it seems like more and more people are really starting to wake up to this because, A, I'm hearing that people are actually using cash a lot more, and B, people are really starting to attack these businesses that refuse to accept cash at all, and that is really great to see. Now, there was actually a very interesting article that I saw just the other day about a bakery, and this bakery was boasting about how they were the first cashless bakery in Australia, and they were absolutely hammered by people making comments on their Facebook page and the like, you know, for those, you know, those that understand the importance of keeping cash alive. So that's the article there, and if anybody wants to jump onto this bakery's website or Facebook page to add their 2 cents worth, I certainly encourage you to do so. So the article is entitled, Australia's First Cashless Bakery Slammed by Pro-Cash Community. The small business posted a sign addressing why it's gone completely cashless. A country bakery has announced a milestone move, claiming it's the first bakery in Australia to go completely cashless. But the Heritage Bakery at Milton on the New South Wales South Coast has been slammed by the nation's online pro-cash community. Australia's first cashless bakery. Cashless is quick. Cashless is clean. Cashless is accurate. Thank you for being an early adopter, the shop declared in a sign, which was photographed by a customer and shared anonymously on social media. The post remarked, for a country town, I guess they are proud of this. Each to their own, but good luck to them when their system goes down. Netizens fumed at the small business's decision, with one social media commentator pulling apart the sign. Cashless is quick, unless there's an outage. Cashless is clean, so they wipe down the F-pop machine after every use, do they? Cashless is accurate, so no one ever makes keying errors, huh? All good points. But some were quick to comment on the cost of keeping cash on premises. I don't think people understand how cash costs businesses to deposit. How does it cost any different than it's done for the last 50 years that businesses have been using cash? There's no new magical additional costs in keeping cash. Businesses have had cash for 50 years. Why is it all of a sudden in the last 3 to 5 years in particular that all of a sudden magically they want to talk about the costs of keeping cash in a business? What's that all about? Okay. Business exists purely to drive profit. I agree. They're not going to take away a profitable form of payment. I'm not sure how people don't understand this, one person wrote. Because it's all part of the agenda to go cashless. That's the point that people need to get. The Heritage Bakery Facebook post went viral on Facebook and has accumulated 600 comments, many of which are rage-fueled. Hope they go broke and lose everything. They might learn then, one person wrote. Anyone want to cut their power and internet off on a regular basis, another wrote. Now, I certainly wouldn't suggest going to those extremes, but by all means, let that particular bakery know what you think about their choice to go completely cashless. Again, if they think the tap and go methods are faster and more accurate and cleaner and whatever other rubbish, then great. Encourage people to do those if that's what you want to do, but keep using cash. You must keep allowing people to still pay in cash if that's what they want to do. Otherwise, I suggest you're going to lose a lot of customers. So again, I urge all of you watching this, please use cash whenever and wherever you can. Make sure you add your signature to Jason's petition. That's the one to legislate a formal cash and banking guarantee in this country. Now, again, there will be a link in the comment section if you're watching this on Facebook. If you're watching it on some other channel, you just need to look up petition to legalise formal cash and banking guarantee in Australia, and it will come up, okay? Don't post a million questions on YouTube going, where do we find the petition? Look it up. Okay, make sure you also join the Call Out Cashless Businesses Facebook group. Again, you'll find a link in the comment section to this video. Otherwise, just look it up on Facebook. And let's keep naming and shaming those businesses that, refuse to accept cash because they're either unaware of the overall agenda or worse still, they're somehow supporting it. And of course, don't forget the sister group, which is the Cash is King discussion group. Again, you'll find a link in the comments to this video, and that is a great place to share all of these ideas. The importance of keeping cash alive, the push towards cashless society, CBDCs, all those sorts of things. We need to keep educating people about the dangers of this incessant push towards a cashless society. Okay, so finally, as I always do on these videos, I do want to finish off with some more great memes, just to keep people thinking about what's really going on at the moment. So, as we're talking obviously a lot about COVID, and I've mentioned obviously the jabs a few times on tonight's video, so this one should be pretty clear for everyone. Long story short, the shots were free because they knew they would make you pay for the side effects for the rest of your life. Okay, the powers that be never give anything away for free. The powers that be don't invest millions of dollars in cameras, okay, unless they know they're going to make a hell of a lot more in return. They don't give away free jabs unless they know that's going to make them money further down the track. It's just common sense, and as that reporter note, People are in business to make money, to make profit. That's a simple fact. And it doesn't just stop applying because it's all of a sudden a pharmaceutical business. Okay, in fact, then it applies even more. And again, who remembers this? When you couldn't sit on the park bench because of all of the insanity. And people forget. So I'm going to keep bringing these things up in these videos just to remind people how insane things got. And it got that way because people complied. People bought into the rubbish. Okay, so stop buying into the media propaganda. So remember this: science. Ironically, seats inside restaurants next to complete strangers were safe until you stood up, but seats outside were somehow dangerous. Again, makes no sense, but people bought into it. Yes, you're going to be hearing a lot more about this again this year, so please keep this one in mind. A climathard. What is a climathard? A person that believes the climate can be changed by paying a CO2 tax to the government. Not the way it works, people. Just saying. Now, while we're on the subject of CO2 gases and taxes and electric cars, because that's the other one you're going to be hearing about a lot more this year, have a look at this picture. Okay, I know it hasn't printed out perfectly, but it gives you an idea. Look at that and look how far it spreads. As it says there, this is a lithium leach field. This is what your electric car batteries are made of. It is so neurotoxic that a bird landing on this stuff dies in minutes. Take a guess what it does to your nervous system. But hey, pat yourself on the back for saving the environment. Look behind the propaganda. Look behind all the media spin, which is just going to keep going this year, and see what's really going on behind the scenes. And I'm going to leave you with this one, and I'm sure that many of you can relate to this as well. And as it says, that's a picture of me in bed in the morning trying to summon the courage to face another day in an Orwellian clown world where memes are fact-checked by people who believe that men can get pregnant. I think that pretty much says it all. So, I am going to leave things there for tonight, and as always, I do urge you to please make use of all of the various resources that are available to you, all of the live video updates, the radio show podcasts, the books, the CDs, everything. So please, get informed, get fired up, and get proactive. We do need that again this year, 2024. We need to keep pushing back because the powers that be are going to keep the pressure on us. Okay, now there's tons of completely free information on our website, on the other websites that we mentioned in the video. You'll find the links in the description. Again, these videos themselves, all completely free to watch. You find them on the videos tab, on our Facebook page, on our BitChute channel, and we will keep trying to upload as many as we can to our YouTube channel as well. And our radio shows, again, we are back live on air this coming Tuesday night for our first live radio show for the year. Yes, we have spent the last week trialing, testing, doing server upgrades. We've spoken to our IT people. They believe that all the links that weren't working towards the end of last year should be working now this year. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll all work. So please do make sure you tune in on Tuesday night for our first live radio show between 8 and 10 p.m. Of course, if you've missed any of those past radio shows, you want to recap on any of the topics or subjects that we've covered over the last 9.5 years, it does cost less than $5 a week to become a podcast member. So it is a tiny, tiny amount. Of course, if you want to go above and beyond that, we do, of course, recommend our book, The Essential Step-by-Step Manual for Understanding and Exercising Your Rights. That Aussie Speeding Fines book, which I mentioned just before, for challenging all unjust and unlawful fines. And of course, again, as we embark on a new year, especially after the Christmas period, we do know a lot of people are struggling financially. So please stop throwing good money after bad, okay, at these unsecured loans, the credit cards, personal loans, things like that. They can be very easily discharged with that tried, tested and proven 4-step process from the Bank Secrets Revealed book. So again, you'll find links in the description to the video. You'll find links in the comment section. You can get these individually. You can get them all together as part of the combo pack. The combo pack does include, of course, our Know Your Rights tote bag, just a little bonus thrown in, no extra charge. We do, of course, have our Know Your Rights caps and beanies. It is warming up a little bit, although it has been quite wet along the East Coast. So feel free to grab a cap or beanie. People recognise the logo. They come up, they have a chat. Great way to meet like-minded people. And, of course, don't forget, always important, is that home study course. It is a complete recording of one of our 2.5-day live events. It's over 17 DVDs. Everything's been recorded. There's 3 custom-made workbooks. There's a section there to write notes next to every single presentation from every single slide. Everything is in there for you. You'll keep coming back to it year after year after year, depending on what it is that you're facing at the time. And of course, you can pause, rewind, fast forward, go through the bits that are of most relevance to you in the comfort of your own home. Again, you'll find a link in the description for that. So I'm going to leave things there. I will, of course, be back again. We are doing only just one video per week for the next month or so. So I'll be back again next Sunday night. But, of course, we will be back on air on the radio show on Tuesday. Other than that, have a fantastic week, everyone. Take care.